Amazing Ampharos here, and I'm about to take on the second Ogre in Child of Light. This guy is a lot stronger than the first one, but overall probably a much less dangerous boss. Because for all the strength he has, at the end of the day, my party went from being two fairly fragile little girls to a party led by an older and stronger girl, and with a couple manly men in it. Big and manly Wingus, small and manlier Robert. And this is definitely a step down from the last boss, because even though this boss hits even harder, it doesn't do nearly as many tricky things, and every part of this fight is just plain less durable. My goal is going to be to just try to rain arrows on him with Robert as much as I can to really hurt the boss, do not horrible damage to the minions, and try to spread some paralysis. If I get free turns, I definitely want Aurora nuking them with Starlight All, because she's really strong, and the minions are really weak to it. This was kind of a bad start, so I'm actually going to have Rubella open for her higher attack speed. Talking is hard sometimes. And let's just bring Tristis out to defend. Interrupting the Ogre causes him to inflict you with a nearly eternal paralysis, so you want to be really careful about that. And I'm just going to kind of count on him not targeting Aurora. So that worked out beautifully, actually. Wonderful dodge. I couldn't tell which one was the one in front, and I'd let him kill Aurora. Okay, I want to take the next turn with Robert, but I don't want to leave a dead character out, so this is what I'm going to do. Okay, I need more of the plants just so I can disrupt the enemies a bit. Okay, the real question is, can I survive? And the answer apparently is yes. Another lightning strike all will probably end the minions. So I'm going to heal up Robert with this plant. Definitely want to give him enough, so I'm reasonably confident that he's going to survive another big hit. Oh, if I knew you were going to do that. Well, it took out one of the animals. And that dodge was really nice, because if she died while Finn was paralyzed, I could be in a lot of trouble. Hopefully this will finish that dog off. And the boss is in really critical health. So I'm going to bring Wingus out, and I'm going to start with the heavy physicals. And of course, Robert can heal himself, so should guarantee him some survival, though I don't think this guy's going to stick around all that much longer. Especially not if I crit. Okay, someone is about to get hit really hard. That dodge! Robert is way too good. And there we go. Victory to Team Robert. And another double level for Aurora. Double for Tristis. Double for Finn. And Rubella. And Wingus. But sadly only a single for our friend Robert. And a tumbled Onyx, which is a fantastic piece of equipment. But let's spend these points. We now have Elevate Damage maxed out, which you've probably noticed I've never used. I don't think it's actually any good at all, but oh well. Okay, with Rubella we can upgrade our MP and max out single target tumble. Finn has 3 points. We can max out single target lightning strike and get 10 defense, which is actually quite a bit. The only thing Robert's getting now is the upgraded antidote. Tier 2 haste all for Tristis. Sadly, he has to wait one more fight for what I consider his ultimate skill, which is defend level 3. Wingus is just always behind everyone else here, but now he can target all enemies, and has 10 more defense. And we're supposed to go and tell Gin about what happened to her family, but I have other priorities for now. I'm going to advance into the next dungeon. Because early in this dungeon we can pick up a side quest that's going to take us around the world, and we can just pick up Gin while we're doing that. And now we're in Chapter 10, the final chapter, which is pretty fitting because this area is the final dungeon. And you're supposed to open the door, but it's really a lot easier to just open those 2 chests from this side. And that one's not really in the plan until later, but it's so easy, there's no reason not to grab it now. We can get all this stuff. Advance over here to these 2 secrets. And now for that side quest I was talking about. Which gives us a little bit of backstory about Ignicolis. So, before I break segment, let's gather these all up. Let's gather these 6 elementals and Gin while we're at it. There's the first one, and let's just map warp to the village. And you'll notice I should have 31 chests by now with my current route, and I only have 30. I don't think I actually made a mistake. There's a bug in the updated version of the Wii U where the game tells you that there's 37 chests in the sea, but there's actually 97 chests, but there's really 98. I think I've already gotten the glitched one that doesn't count. If you play on other versions, you might run into other bugs where the game just misreports stuff about the treasure chest. But in Wii U, the only thing that really matters is the Cynel Sea. All the other bugs are fixed. And Gin has now joined our party and is none too happy about the death of her parents. But I'm pretty happy that Gin is in our party because Gin is a pretty great character. Now, Gin has 3 skill trees, you'll note. This one seems nice because it gives you a big jump on your timeline to anyone you want, but I don't really think these kind of buffs are that useful in this game. So I mostly focus on our other 2 trees. This tree is really notable because it has the paralyze ability. You use it, you paralyze an enemy. It's a guarantee. It costs a ton of MP, but if you've been watching the rest of this run, you pretty much know that paralysis is the best thing in the game. Though I don't think upgrading it's really in your interest, because even though you can make the paralysis really long, the MP cost skyrockets too. And the total amount of paralysis you can inflict on the enemies is actually greater if you stick to the base level. So I'm going to spend my first 3 levels picking up Paralyze, and then I'm probably not going to invest any further in this tree. I might pick up Defend, but I would actually make Gin a worse character if I upgraded Paralysis more. Her physical is real nice though, because it has a guarantee, if it does not interrupt, of pushing enemies back on the timeline. And as you upgrade her physical, well, I guess it always is just 20%, but you begin to get some real damage out of it too. So we definitely want to push backward slam up to level 2. And this also gets Gin a really nice passive where she gets really fast at low health. So with 5, I could upgrade backward slam all again. Yeah, I think this is the correct choice. Because next time she levels, I'm going to max out backward slam. And then I'm probably going to spend the remaining levels on her to upgrade defend for the final boss. Because the very long cast time is very not useful. And while this is an amazing passive, it's not really worth investing too much in, because the level 2 passive's really good anyway. But let's get her some oculi. Of course, my top priority in crafting oculi is making tourmaline. I do not have enough materials to make another brilliant tourmaline. So I actually think I'm going to downgrade Wingus to faceted and give Gin his brilliant. Let's increase Aurora's spell power. Actually, never mind. The next several enemies are weak to lightning. So it's actually smarter to give this to Finn. And we'll give her a tumbled amethyst. And what's her MP at? She already has enough to use paralysis twice. How much did that cost again? Was it 16 or 12? 12. So I'm going to want to equip an emerald on her so she can use it 3 times. Okay, that was kind of lengthy, but now Gin is set up for battle, and she's going to be very useful to my cause. And now out here we can pick up the second one of the fireflies. And the other 4 aren't really that hard to find. And I'm sorry this one's getting a little long in the tooth, but I really just want to finish this side quest so I can just focus on the final dungeon from here on out. And this will take care of the forest, so we just need the 2 from the plains, but it's actually 1 on the plains and 1 in the cliffs. So the side quest kind of lied to us. Whoops. Now there's number 5. And then number 6 is just over here. I do like how they use all these different words to describe the elemental who gave us this quest. Old, ancient, fading. This really is a very sharply written game. And I guess I have to take the long road here. Oh well. If I realized I didn't have a jump point, I would have picked up Gen last to save a little backtracking. But I was eager to have a party member, so I guess it's not too bad. This area is really short, so not that big of an extra trip. Whoops! That's an enemy. That very much blended into the background. So, Surprise Strike may be indicating that someone other than the intended party was surprised. Actually, we want Gen out. That may seem silly, but you really want your 2 fastest characters at the front. So when you start boss fights, you start with just that little bit of extra speed. And I believe my fastest 2 are Robert and Gen. I know Robert's the fastest. I think Gen is number 2. So Ignicolas decides he's going to stay with us, which is nice because that means the remaining bosses will be possible. And now we've completed this side quest, and we get that really awesome reward. 3-faceted spinel. which what those do for you is they let you start ahead on the timeline when equipped to your accessory slot, which it should really go without saying that's going to Robert. And on your weapon, they let you do 25% extra damage, which is a whole lot, though it only applies to physical. You need the onyxes for magic. I kind of like giving one of these to Wingus like this, and that just leaves one more to bump some other character forward a bit on the timeline. While I believe Gen would be the best choice, the downside to doing that is that Gen actually benefits a lot from that emerald right now, so we'll just give that to Rubella. And gee, Aurora should have something. I guess that's something. And that'll actually be it for this incredibly long segment. I'll be back with you guys next time when I start plowing through this final dungeon, and there's going to be a whole lot of optional bosses and whatnot on the way too, so it'll be a fun one. See you then.